Aloha, everyone.
Aloha, Randy. Aloha, everyone. We're a couple minutes early. I'm just gonna admit people for a couple minutes and we'll start just a few.
Randy, did you catch any fish today at the pier?
Bluetooth mode. Hearing.
Well, we are on at exactly 4:30. I'm just gonna give a couple more minutes, but we looks like we do have a quorum right now, so we can begin in a moment.
Aloha, everyone. Aloha, Randy. Did you catch any fish today at the pier? No, sir, I did not. I left my pole at home when I got there. I realized that, it's challenging to get old. That's a hell of a woman's tale.
Grace,
Oh,
are you set with the minutes on your end?
Yes, I am. It took find out where to unmute. Yes, I'm all set. I know I had to kind of move my window up and but yes, it's all good.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, aloha everyone. This is Dawn.
Hi,
I
Dawn.
think we should wait a couple minutes and see if some more members jump on to the meeting before we start. Members?
Yeah, let's just give it a couple more.
Like till 35 or 3 more minutes.
Yeah.
If that's agreeable with everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
sorry. Maybe I should. I'll mute my. There's a weed whacker next door.
Don't we all have weed whackers next door?
Who's 444? 4444. Ah, Gary. Huh?
Somebody other than Gary.
Right.
I'm here, Gary. Ian and Crystal might join us as well. Here I am.
Glad you can join us, Gary.
Okay.
So Grace was asking who's logged in under 4444?
No idea. Hey, Ginger. You gotta wait, girl.
How you
Sorry, that's
doing, Gary?
better. Better. Can't stand on my feet yet, but it's healing. It's healing good. Yeah, I can't kick anybody with my left foot anymore. So yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
Briefly, Gary, what happened to you?
I developed an infection in my left foot. Turned out to be staph and something else, and from working in the yard. So, just my whole life I work with shorts everywhere and never thought about it, but probably with low resistance from lack of sleep and working 7 days a week, everything just kind of caught up, and yeah, so kind of screwed up my foot. And yep, so here I am.
Well, take care of yourself.
I will. Thank you.
So I see that 4444 unmuted. Who are you?
I just unmuted, but I'm not 4444. Does it look like
No, you're good. I see you logged in.
I'm going to unmute? I'm muted. Except, Gary, you may need some help with that tree that's fallen down into the road on the way up to Alakakui. From your yard, it's lying in the road. I'll let Krista know that maybe she could have some of her staff cut it up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet.
Sorry that you're under the weather, mate.
Yeah, just don't tell Alicia because she's gonna go out there and try and cut it. That's what got me in trouble to begin with. I had to go clean up all the trees she cut in the backyard.
Oh dear, it's one of those cut already.
Yeah, yeah.
I won't say a word.
Okay.
Gary, if Krista doesn't get that taken care of, let me know and I'll come over and help take care of it.
Thank you. Right on,
I
Randy.
could get Troy. I'm supposed to hang out with Troy tomorrow, and let me know. And if that's the case, maybe Troy and I can go over there and whack it out.
Okay. Well, I'll go have Alicia go take a look at it. She's
So you tell her to call me and I'll help her.
okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Okay. Well,
Okay, it's 4:36. Should we go ahead and get started? Yes? Is that a yes?
yes, let's do it.
I'm good.
Okay, welcome everyone to the Hāna Business Council membership meeting of, what is this, November 28th. Amazing. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving and looking forward to the upcoming holidays. We would like to open our meeting per usual with our Hanu Iloko, Hanu Ivaho, a breath, breathing in and breathing out. So if you would like to join me in that pule, Hanu Iloko, Hanu Ivaho, Hanu Iloko, Hanu Ivaho, Hanu Iloko, Hanu Ivaho. Mahalo, everyone. So I guess we have a change in the way we are having our meeting. And Heidi, would you like to take the lead and explain what you have implemented here?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is new, and I'm so grateful to Terry and Michael for participating in a conversation in this new way. I got inspired by my daughter, actually, who had talked about gathering with friends of hers in her community to talk about business. And I wasn't involved in the first 15, 20 years of the Hāna Business Council. But from what I understand, there used to be a lot more conversation in early years and just talk about things for the community. And so the way that we've been evolving the hanamaui.com website, I just wanted to find new ways as we're looking towards marketing and transitioning and developing an app for hanamaui.com, hopefully in the new year, that we're finding ways to market in our community, our members, and to have their engagement just more generally in our member meetings. So we have 8 member meetings where members are involved and through the months, and 4 that are for the board only. And so this is an experiment. We haven't had a direct board meeting to discuss the strategy of this, but I thought this could give us for this month and hopefully next an opportunity to just have co-facilitators. So it's not just a staid board meeting, but it's a community conversation facilitated by leaders in our business community. So the first thing I wanted to do was pull up on hanamaui.com the directory listing for our featured speaker and introduce them. And we have Terry and Michael Kristensen. They actually have 2 listings with us. And their first one is the Entabeni Cottage for their vacation rental. And then we also have their garden tour. And so they have 2 directory listings. I will also state that as you could see on our agenda, they are also recurring supporters for our website, for the hanamaui.com, and contribute $5 a month in addition to their membership. So I really appreciate the 2 of you, and I wanted to give you the opportunity. I can share the screen with you if you have other things you wanted to share. But another thing I wanted to mention is that what I'd like to highlight in these meetings, and you may have seen this in the email reminder that was sent, basically there are different categories that each of the directory listings fall under. And you can see for the garden tour, these guys are under general activities, agriculture, Aloha Aina environmental stewardship, and art studio visits and workshops, farms and garden tours, fine artists, flowers, and food and beverage products. On the other listing, they have the lodging category. So I wanted those types of categories to be just something that we discuss generally, what's going on in our community. I want them to give us their background and history and lead the conversation for the first half of our meeting. So I don't think that I have more to say at this point, and I'm going to hand the baton over to Terry and Michael.
Thank you very much, Heidi.
Thank you, Heidi. Hello, everybody. Go ahead.
Carry on. You're Michael.
I'm Michael, the other half of Terry.
And we're always trying to keep him on the farm working. I'm the one who goes to the meetings and goes to town. But Michael is happiest when he's right here working in his greenhouse with vegetables and flowers and cutting back the jungle. One of the things that you had talked about is when did we come to Hāna, and how did we come about being part of Hāna Business Council? And we bought our farm in '92. And in 2007, we created our B&B. And we've been operating our bed and breakfast since 2007. And from there, the garden grows. We have an educational program. We started out with an educational program using woofers, and the goals were to be as sustainable as possible and have as little footprint on the planet and leave that footprint. And we are completely off the grid. We're fortunate to now have Hawaiian Telecom high-speed fiber optic cable, and it has been a real gift for us after many years of satellites. But we are completely off the grid, so we try to produce all our own food, and that which we have in excess we sell currently at both Hasagawa's and at Hāna Ranch store. We started with the woofers and the farmers market because they were young and strong and energetic, and they needed that part of education. I'll turn it over to Michael, and he can talk about.
Well, the farmers market was great for the woofers as part of the education that we were providing for them. Of course, initially we started with the woofers to assist us and to facilitate the work that we envisaged happening at Entabeni. And as we graduated through the woofing program, we developed a workforce of students who were already graduated from a university in an earth science of one kind or another. And so that allowed us to develop the woofing program as an educational program in favor of those woofers who have, of course, subsequently have now become friends and long-term contacts with us. And the farmers market was very easy for us to then become a part of, having the young people. But now we're a little and having to assemble the tent and the tables and things, it's become too labor intensive for us. So while we love the farmers market and we think it's a great idea and we've loved being a participant over the few years, we've decided that it's far too much for us at our age. So we're selling to, as Terry said, Hasagawa's and the Hāna store, and they take everything we can possibly give them. And, we can't actually keep up with as much as they would like us to produce, apparently, because they're selling everything very rapidly.
I think we found that with regards to the bed and breakfast, that very few of our guests have ever lived off the grid. The young ones think ideally that that's one of the reasons they choose our cottage, is because we're green. And the reality is they know nothing about what it is like to turn off the lights and not have air conditioning in a room. And it's a learning process for them. And
but it's not only the young people, it's right across the board. We are fortunate in how much the B&B is utilized by renters, but a good number of them, if not most of them, go on a tour with us. And we are, or I am, having been brought up on a farm, am astounded by the ignorance that people have about nature, and certainly about the rainforest collection of plants that we have here. People have never seen many of the plants that are grown just locally in Hāna and on the islands of Hawaii. And we really feel that, or we know from the comments, that people really find it an eye-opener coming to Hāna, seeing a totally different way of life. And also by going through our garden on a guided tour where we can explain and illustrate facets of the plant kingdom to them, because we have a vast collection of tropical plants, and many of which are rainforest plants. It's proved successful for us because it's brought many of those same renters returning to us every year or every other year. And each time they come, they tend to spend a longer period of time. Our main focus in the B&B is to provide a place that is as far away from the distractions of modern life as possible. It's dead quiet here in Upper Nahiku. It's pitch black.
Except for the ambulances.
Yeah, except for the tourists who are falling off the highway. And people find after they've been here a couple of days, they begin to get a sense of what the Hāna area is about, because it's so quiet and we don't have the distractions. We don't have television here purposefully, and that helps to cut some of the distractions of the modern day technology. That's our main purpose, is to have people who want to be away from the distractions. And the younger people tend to want to be around restaurants and activities, and we can fully understand that, having been young a long time ago.
You do remember.
Yes, yes.
I think that, Michael's life is plants. So he's able to share through the garden tours and through the tours of our property to our guests, an aspect of the plant kingdom that nobody will see anywhere else.
Locally, anyway, at least we're available to the public and to take them on a tour, because I have had the wonderful opportunity of having lived in various parts of the world, all in the interest of learning about those plants that grow in those regions of the world and why they survive there and how. And it's the connecting of the dots which we try to provide on the tour of Entabeni. Is why and how do these things? Every action has a reaction. Everything is interconnected. The gardens are laid out in circles because everything is cyclical on the planet, as I understand it. And so part of our education in our tour is to explain how these cyclical happenings occur. And we unfortunately tend to not realize them as we go through the distractions of life.
I think one of the things that we did with the HFUU in the beginning is that we used to have meetings at different annual meetings at different farms. And that gave all of us as farmers an opportunity to see what they're doing at their farm. And if we had a connection, if all of the bed and breakfasts belonged to the Hāna Business Council, we would have an opportunity to share between us, so that somebody staying at a B&B in town might see a brochure to come to our garden for a tour.
Or anybody else's.
And as we send people to the lava tubes, why they could reciprocate and send people back and forth to one another. And I hope that that's one of the aspects of these sharing opportunities, is to learn what each other is doing. And we're farming, we grow vegetables, we have fruit, we have a collection of exotic and native tropical plants. We have a B&B, we offer guided tours. We have an art studio. Art is very important to Michael and to a number of our friends who work together in the art community. And we love it when people come and they go into the art studio and they have that kind of an experience. We would like to be having many more workshops here, both art related and garden related. Michael will be teaching pruning class either in January or February, so that if people have employees that do the pruning on their properties, they can send them to the workshop and they can learn how to do correct pruning practices. There's no end to the ability to share.
In the whole of Hāna, prior to COVID, when we did go to members' properties and farms and see what they were doing, there was something to learn at every one of those locations. And it felt to me as if a community was developing. Hāna itself is very distracted. It's very separated because people, I think, perhaps come and live here as we came to live, to be quiet and not have to do to get away from the 9 to 5 syndrome. And having those opportunities during prior to COVID to visit other properties and meet other people gives a greater understanding of one's community. And of course, it never got reestablished after the disaster.
So we both invite any questions that you might have.
Yes.
Or any sharing that each of you who is listening to this meeting, if you have any curiosity or anything to share, we'd like to hear it.
We'll try to answer.
Terry and Michael, this is Max. I think I read someplace about the name of your place, but could you just educate us a little bit where that came from?
I grew up in a part of South Africa called Zululand, the state of Natal, or the province of Natal. It was called a province, as you would call it, a state. And it's a Zulu word which means a place on the hill with a view. Like all ethnic languages, one word can mean have several meanings and compound meanings. And Entabeni is such a word. The cottage, our B&B, actually has a very nice view that is very quiet and isolated. And so that's why we chose the name. And the city of Durban, where I was born, which is subtropical, has a hospital called Entabeni, and the word Entabeni is pretty common in South Africa. So anybody passing by who comes from South Africa immediately recognizes the word.
Thank you.
Thank you, Max.
Hello, guys. When do y'all ever have workshops, or do y'all have featured artists, or how would one know, just on your website, or is it on your posting?
Well, unfortunately, we never. When we set up the web pages, we didn't realize the direction in which we have landed ourselves. And if we were on the ball, I guess, we would upgrade the websites to let people know that a little bit more of what we do. But we seem to be really busy on 6¼ acres trying to maintain the jungle and the garden collection and everything else that goes with living in a Hāna, which we thought was a retirement community. If we just haven't got around to putting down the information about tours, and one of the local artists is
Who? Carlos?
Carlos Uribe, who you all know from the.
This is one of his T-shirts.
Yeah, he and I work together every week on a project of some kind, and we're developing a children's story right now with coconuts, and we're creating the models, and we've had Strano, one of the students from the school, also participate a little bit, and we welcome anybody who's interested in art to join us from time to time if they're interested. We do it once a week. It's usually 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, whatever is comfortable. It's always at the same time. And the classes that I teach usually are motivated by somebody asking if I'll teach a class. I've done a huge amount of teaching over the years because I graduated in park administration, ornamental horticulture, environmental design. And so this has allowed me to connect the dots again of how those 3 areas of my studies and expertise today have meaning in how we live. Art is an integral part of life, and I found over the years in teaching about garden design as well as these other subjects, that people, the general public, see art as something that belongs to those who are specially talented, when in fact art is a creative endeavor that every single person has. And creativity is an integral part of the human body. And so that's one of the aspects that I like to teach about, because it is so incredibly exciting, and it develops personality, it develops self-confidence, self-esteem, and it develops us into a whole human being. So that's what I have spent my life doing. I don't like people, I like plants. But in the process, I have to work with them, and we have a wonderful time together.
Yes, he's always quoting that plants adapt and people make poor choices.
Yes, that's one of my little quotations. Plants adapt, and if we adapted, we would find life so much easier and not make such foolish choices based on so much ego.
I think that's a good quote.
What day and time is your weekly art workshop?
It's on Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock, from 10 to 12.
Great, thank you.
Pleasure, Dawn.
Is that every Saturday?
No, it's not every Saturday. In Hāna, nothing is concrete, as you know. Carlos and I work every single week on some project or another. Right now, I'm helping him with his shirt and tea towel production for the farmers market. So that's during the week. And sometimes I do it on a Saturday. And then when when he's stocked with his product, then we go back to the art project. Sometimes we do framing of his art and mine. He is an artist and has a degree in art. So we complement each other in terms of what each of us can do. And I have a great workshop. So when we have to make frames or do any work like that, the two of us can put something together and have great fun at the same time doing it. And of course, there's a friendship that develops out of that and an understanding of one another. It is out of doing that we get there.
I texted everybody in the chat the news at hanacommunity.net just to remind you that if you wanted to share anything about your workshop to the community, we do have that email list that we can send out. And we also have the calendar on the hanamaui.com website. So I'm happy to help add a calendar notation that, just says, call to check in or text me to verify we're doing it this week, or, you can do that however you'd like, but we definitely want to help you involve others as you would like with that form.
Wonderful. Thank you. One of the things that crosses my mind often, I've worked in institutions where we have incorporated volunteers And especially for people who are retired, I can quote an example of the Honolulu Botanical Gardens. Every Tuesday morning, a group of elderly volunteers would meet at the gardens, and one of the staff at the time would guide them in doing some project. Sometimes it was prior to their annual sales or to the propagation of plants. And I've worked in various locations where we have invited people with disabilities, as long as they have a supervisor with them at the same time, or just people who like to be in a garden and do simple things under the guidance of whoever runs the garden. And that is, I would like to add something to what you just suggested, to see if there is anybody who's retired who likes gardening on a non-hard physical level, just to come on a weekly basis or whatever basis they like, as long as they can get here, and just work in a garden, because
And go home with cuttings.
and go home with cuttings and learn something at the same time, as well as having an outing. There are very good studies that illustrate that people with mental problems or physical health problems, the chemistry of the body changes when they go into a garden, or when they are with animals, or when they are away from the distractions of the normal everyday 9-to-5 type living. And I know that this works because I've seen it. I've been working in landscaping and with plants since I was 15 years old, and I'm now 81. So over those years, I've had several opportunities of seeing volunteers who come in just for their own pleasure, just for the enjoyment of being with plants and learning a little tidbit here and there. They're not necessarily going to even remember it. But the point is, for the moment, it's like having Alzheimer's, I'm sure. You learn it for the moment and then it's gone, and you learn it again next week. It doesn't matter. But the point is, it's interesting. And that makes life a little more fun.
And we have MEO, who is very, very willing to bring people to places for any kind of an event in East Maui. So,
plus the fact that so many people who go into retirement end up in horrible loneliness, and just getting out is one of the problems in the urban environment. That's why I was so successful in getting volunteers. Is there are programs to take people on little excursions if they're too old and can't do anything. But even if one just goes into a park and sits down and enjoys the ambiance, and there's somebody there to entertain them for moments, not the whole time that they're there. And they might only be there for an hour, or they might be there for several hours, and they start to get a little bit interested. And the point is that it enhances their life and their day. And being with nature, as far as I'm concerned, is what Hāna is all about. Have you had enough of me?
Well, I did want to give us a time check. We're going to shift over to our regular schedule, and we have 8 minutes. 5:15 is the goal. But I did want to mention, I also thought when you were talking, Michael, that MEO is definitely a resource. And then we have Randy here, who is the spokesperson for our Hanalani Club at this point, I'm told.
Yes.
So
we've been there many times, and the group has enjoyed it. We went there on a holiday outing one time. There were about 30 of us, and they're still talking about some of the plants that they've never seen, and some of the pizza that Michael made. It's always fun to go over to you guys' place.
they'd be shocked at what he and Carlos have been creating. I refer to Michael and Carlos are playing with their dolls.
We have a series of characters that we're developing. There's so much Anyway, I've spoken enough. Any other questions?
You only have one wolf on property now, Michael?
Lisa?
What did you say, Randy?
You only have one worker on the property other than yourself?
Yes.
One.
Yes, we have one young man.
Wow. A lot of work.
Yes,
Huh,
yes.
it's Hāna,
And
not Hāna. It's Hāna.
Well, we've been talking about for years, our possible mentorship program. And I know you did say something about working with some of the students from the school, but there is an interest at the school in a mentorship program. I'll be meeting with Kristensen about it coming up soon. So I just wanted to put that back on the table.
that's very good, Dawn.
Yeah, I have.
Gina Lind has been out and with one of the other people who works in that program, that it would be very nice to have them come and work in the garden.
The problem was the transportation. Someone is to get them here and to get them back, because, as you know, we're a little bit out of the way, purposefully.
Well, thank you for giving us this opportunity
Yes,
to
thank you.
share. Michael doesn't have anything to do with HBC, but I'm very happy to tune in and listen on a regular basis once a month and be part of it.
Well, we certainly appreciate your support, and I know that there's other you can see we have a flush of our directors that have joined the call, and we also have Rob, and Rebecca is the very cornerstone anchored 4444 on our call this evening. Do you two have anything you'd like to add and share?
Well, I've been gone for a couple months since the fire. I'm happy to be back. It's good to see everybody's face, and want to say thanks to Randy for checking in on me while I was away. And yeah, looking forward to getting back involved in the Hāna Business Council and the meetings and the community in general.
How many are back?
Well, we're going to be on a skeleton crew for this foreseeable future, but we'll pray for decent weather through the winter, and maybe for we see a lot of arrivals on Maui, but for our business at least, we're still way down on bookings, about 70% down for the month of November. So maybe waiting to see some of that visitor spending kind of pick up again and sort of even out. But yeah, and of course, being in the skydiving business, it all depends on what the winter holds for us. So yeah, we'll play it by ear.
I've also encouraged, and I'll mention it again, send a blast out to the Hāna Community News email and let us know that you're ready for those holiday jumpers to release the tensions of visiting with all their family and eating so much. I have had several people, and I'm not sure where Julie, you're still here on the call too. I forgot to mention you and Julie and Rebecca are the non-director people on the call this evening with Terry and Michael. And Julie's husband has mentioned he would like to do this. So yes.
Well, I know Heidi, you're also on our list at some point. So yeah.
I would like to ask you to pay a visit to the B&Bs with your flyers so that we can inform our guests about your skydiving.
Sure, I would love to stop by and meet both of you in person and just to see where you are, and happy to share our information with you both. we have a lot of bookings that are traveling a long ways to get to the Hāna airport. So I love it when we have bookings from people that are nearby. It makes my life so much easier, and it's just a breath of fresh air when they can kind of look out the window and see that the weather looks good, instead of, typically we have people over on Kihei not sure why I'm telling them that it's raining. So yeah, it's always great when people are nearby.
Yeah, we'd love it. Anybody who's in business in Hāna, we invite you for.
For anyone in Hāna who's interested, they're welcome to come, and we will show them a tour.
And we will promote their businesses.
Which is kama aina, of course, for anybody local. We can't be taking people on tours in our facility without getting some form of remuneration. We still have to. This is not a free for all thing. You pay for people's time, but
for the guests, for the visitors, not for the local people.
Not for the local people at all. We all share in this incredibly wonderful natural environment.
Well, we would be happy to take you on a skydive too, Michael or Terry, if you would like to join us ever.
We're okay. We're on the ground. Thank you.
Just saying.
Let's see. I'm Rebecca, and I tuned in today because I wanted to see your interview with Terry and Michael, and I'm pleased that you're focusing on certain people in the community and the Business Council. I was one of the very first people to be in the Business Council when Carl and Ray Lindquist created it. And I was very involved for many years when I was doing my own B&B and so forth, which I don't do anymore. I do still have a flower farm here in Hāna. But I think it's wonderful that you're focusing on Terry and Michael today at the Business Council. So we get to learn a little bit more about them and what they offer and what they do. So thanks, Heidi. Good idea.
Well, thanks for the feedback. I am going to share my screen again. I'll put the shout out, because since Kamalu hasn't spoken out, but she runs the Hāna Now Facebook page, which is getting a lot of traction and viewership. So that's another, if you are not checked into that site, I would highly recommend it for giving information about your businesses and your garden tours as well, when there's things coming up. Are you guys seeing the agenda again?
Yes.
Okay. So I also wanted to highlight our renew and new membership that we've had since our last meeting. We had the Kipahulu Ohana Renew under their new executive director, Kamale. Davey Duarte with the Hawaii agency. He's joined, and he's also willing and expressed interest in working with me. In looking at putting together a marketing plan, and also seeking funding for developing our application, a web app for hanamaui.com. And then also, hold on a second, I see it in the chat that Grace, you're not seeing the agenda?
No, I'm not seeing the agenda either. This is Dawn.
You have other stuff on your screen, hon, not the agenda.
Oh,
you have mailer light.
Okay, let me start again.
Okay.
There we go. Other monitor. Okay. Does that look better?
That's
okay.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, we have the Hawaii agency. I came across this technical wizard because he had an ad up on the bulletin boards saying about a classified ad program that he had built, inviting people to that. And I was like, what are you doing? Let's partner. And he's really excited. So we'll see where that comes. Also, Jessica Fountain joined. She did our bookkeeping for many years for the Hāna Business Council. Tamara Jennings has a new listing and membership. And then we had renewals with Chrissy, Amanda, and Sybil Chapelet, who also has a vacation rental. And I realized that that was needing to be renewed. So we talked about that and made that happen today. But she's also, this is a vacation rental property. And I will chime in saying that since the fires, we've had a significant drop off in business. And it's really, especially coupled with insurance rates doubling, which I didn't ask Terry and Michael about, but I know that that's been a challenge. So operating independent and family-run vacation rental properties is a steep price to it these days, and challenging with the economic circumstance. So with that, is it okay to move into our agenda? Okay.
Yeah,
So
before we move forward, could we do a roll call for our board members so we just have a clear record of who is here? So Heidi is here, Claire is here, Dawn is here. Fryam is not here, correct?
he's here.
there
He
is.
just logged
I
in.
see him.
Here, just says
I see,
Sean.
He just
I see
joined.
you now. Gary Chow is here, Grace is here, Jerry Gregory.
Not here.
No,
Okay, Leah Kalalau,
no,
Not.
Mark Sanders, I saw him on.
Yep.
Max is on. Nicole
no.
and Randy Orozco. Okay. All right, we have our roll call. Thank
And
you.
do we want to introduce Julie Lever? Do we need, does she want
Lure.
Julie, she messaged me and saying she is fly on the wall today,
to?
a
Okay.
little under the weather. But
Okay.
if you want to say something, Julie, feel free.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm sorry. I woke up from a nap to get on this call, so I apologize for not my top shape today. But thank you for allowing me to be on the call. It's been really nice to hear about Entabeni Garden Cottage, and also just kind of see all of you and get to meet you virtually. So
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So did any of the board members get to review last month's minutes? It was our board only meeting.
Yeah, I was trying to pull that up, but it came up and it was kind of confusing. I don't know why whatever I got wasn't right or something. But does anyone have any comments, or do you need time to read through the minutes before we move to approval? Yeah, I just kind of see bullet points, but no like action that was taken or discussion that was had or.
That's Grace.
Yeah, well, I know I took minutes and wrote things down, but wasn't there an issue with those minutes, Heidi, that you were gonna fix after or something? Like links that we were gonna add to, I don't know. I'm not
I
looking
think we did. I think it's all there.
so I can't really
Can you-
say I haven't seen it.
Can you just scroll down a little bit more, Heidi,
Yeah. So
to get to the meat of it?
yeah.
I think it looks pretty complete, Don. Was there something that you were thinking is missing?
It's fine with me. Would you like to move to approve the minutes?
Yes, so moved. This mark.
I'll
Second.
second Kamalu.
Okay. Is anyone opposed to approving the minutes? Okay, fantastic. Okay, do we have a treasurer's report, Heidi?
I haven't heard from Nicole. I know that they have been going through a really challenging time right now with the fires, and their business, but we need to hear from her so that we can have more of involvement with, looking at our financials. But I will say that these are the balances. Oh, this is not the right balance for our thing. I can pull up our last bank statement here. This is our main bank branch, and we paid for the advertisement in the Hāna Side News and this last month, and then we had a $35 payment that went towards generating a QR code for the link to the website or the webpage that was created for the Hāna Festivals of Aloha page. And those were the only expenses on our main account for through October. And then I will update that piece of it. We back in September, this would have been after our last member meeting, or no. Yes. So I went to the bank and split off the funds for both the East Maui Ready donations that we have and the scholarship account. We did have a check made for the $2,500. Oh, look at that. That's the wrong link. Hold on. Sorry, this is my presentation is failing. Let me see if I have this one right. There we go. Okay. No, I still have it here. Here we go. But recipients. Okay. So we paid Lillian, and we're still holding funds for Pristine and Irie and Fa'a. And this one we have confirmation that we're holding it for 2 years. So those are, I need to, as you've noticed, update the links. But the other thing that was determined at our last meeting is that there were fees for getting checks for those accounts. And the HBC main account, we said that we would reimburse those funds and cover those expenses. So that was done. And I'm still working on finalizing our OE grants to be done by the end of the year. So other than the changes where I'll update the final this ending balance for our main account and the 2 links, that's what I have for the financial report for today.
Okay, should we take a vote to accept the financial report as presented by Heidi?
So moved.
I'll
Max,
second.
Kamalu, anybody opposed or have any other questions about it? I guess my question, and I did talk to Heidi about this, but why we had to separate into 3 different accounts and the costs associated with having 3 different accounts when that's something that can be easily tracked in, your QuickBooks or your bookkeeping program. So I'm still a little confused about the need for that, but it's done. So I guess there's no reason to discuss it at this point. The next thing on our agenda is strategic planning and grants. Board retreat, which that's one of our 2 board retreats that we have each year. Is that correct?
Yes, and we did not have one this fall. And when Dawn and I met, we were talking about moving that to January. Does anyone?
We need to discuss that with the board to see if January is a good time and what might be a good. We usually do that on a Saturday, correct?
Yeah.
And it's a half day, kind of meeting, and then we have lunch or something after. So
I can send an email out to the board and start looking at asking for possible dates on that.
Okay, and then we usually also have a winter social, which I think last year we had in February. So we might want to look at scheduling that as well. Or it says holiday gathering, but I'm not sure we want to do it before the Christmas holiday, unless that's the will of the board. No, I see head shaking no. So that could be maybe again February this year, but we can address that in the email that Heidi's going to send out, and everybody can respond.
Yeah, and also
any chance we can do it at the hotel again?
We certainly
but
can
we'll have
ask.
to follow up with that once we have a date. We kind of need to have a date, or we could talk
that makes sense. I know that.
See what dates work for them too. Might be another way.
What was the date of your birthday, Fryam? That's what we did it for last year, right?
9.
February 9th. Okay.
It's also the 3rd anniversary of the farmers market.
Guys, the hotel probably will be under some form or a phase of renovation during that time. The art gallery is closing, but they're also doing some stuff, in the public areas as well. So I'm not sure that. I don't know. They are going to do a larger scale renovation, but I'm not sure when that schedule starts. Paulie Pamon is a big part of that, and I think he was waiting for a schedule, so we might want to.
They started the roof at the restaurant.
Yeah, but if they're using the Paniolo bar and the main dining room for the hotel guests, I don't think they're going to open it up for us.
Well, by February, hopefully the ranch restaurant will be done, and that would make it a different situation. But we can follow up with them, and if not, there are a couple of other options that we could look at.
Yeah. Sure. That's what I would do. Plan B.
Or C.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking ahead at the board structure. So I see on this agenda that we have the expiration terms, every 2 years. And we have like a majority, except for 2 of us, everybody's term expires in 2024. And I thought we talked about this last year, but I really think that we need to have, half the board in 1 year and half in another year, so that we're not all transitioning or up for election all at the same time.
Good
so
idea.
I would like to address that this year before our annual meeting and election, if possible.
Oh, so Lucas isn't in there anymore. I'm not sure who is supposed to be. 1, 2, 3, 5. She's here.
Leah.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, it's just to move him out. Okay. So one thing I wanted to add to this agenda item is that as we're looking forward and firming, establishing ourselves more as a nonprofit and involving ourselves in fundraising and grant writing, and wanting to represent our community in the best way. And this is something that we can talk about more as we go into our board retreat. But I spoke with both Leah and Kamalu and Dawn about discussing looking at the board with respect to Hawaiian participation and thinking well, first of all, our community is majority Hawaiians, and there's so much opportunity if we want to help with workforce development and really supporting our culture, which is really right in our mission statement and vision, that it'd be great. And I've been trying to cultivate engaging more Hawaiian women, but Hawaiians. And I spoke with this also with Gary, who's Hawaiian, to just work at getting more Hawaiians involved in our board and talk about the discussion of possibly changing our bylaws to look at having representation of a possible majority Hawaiian board. Well, let me just finish. If that were the case, the grant funding opportunity to support an underrepresented community that is, needs additional economic support is just, it really is a game changer. And it really could change how we can impact the community. So I wanted to just bring that up in this meeting, and it's definitely something that I'd like to hear back from people on our board now. And we don't have to have a discussion about it now, but as we get towards our board retreat and as we're talking with our membership.
Yeah, just one comment I have on that, with looking at other organizations and a lot of these grants for underserved communities and culture and so forth, that the board itself does not need to be majority Hawaiian if you have, a large Hawaiian membership. So I just wanted to bring that up. But let's put this on our agenda for our board meeting, and then we can discuss this at board retreat meeting. Is that okay with everyone?
Works for me.
Okay.
Community meeting with the state legislature.
So this is about, it actually ties back down to the agricultural committee and an update on our Hāna community kitchen project. And just coming up to the end of the year and the new legislative session ahead. I'm just going to cover this topic, but the idea is that in December, have an HBC sponsored community meeting to hear about things that are being slated for East Maui from Representative Poipoi's office, the mayor's office, our county council, and Senator DeCoite's office, but also to get more feedback about the next step for our Hāna Community Kitchen project. I spoke with the lobbyist for the Hawaii Farmers Union today, Hunter Hivelin, I think his last name is. Anyway, he said that, and I've heard this before from both the grants and aid liaison that works with Kahanu Garden and Mike, the process for doing grants and aid is really convoluted. And it's difficult, and you have to have your political ducks in a row to make that happen. So that was kind of the next thing for our community kitchen project, was to work at getting a grant and aid package together. But Hunter was saying, we need to really make sure that the HFUU as a state nonprofit organization is ready to really help us with this. And B is that maybe we can really focus more on the upcoming USDA LAMP grant that has large funding for development and planning aspects, and be ready for that. Those grants open up in February and have to be submitted by May. So there's still some questions on the table, but I just put this in here for strategic planning, just to reach out to you guys as a board and the community to just take a check. And I wanted to hear Dawn on this as well, you know, for finding out about doing a community meeting and seeing if we can get a date together for that.
Well, I could certainly pull something together for, on weeks. Let's see, we're on this week. Next week is what we call somewhere around there. So I think that's really a key is the state, legislators' involvement at this point, and for us not only to hear what their plans are, but for us to give them input into what we really need for our East Maui community. That's really, really important. So I'd be glad to assist with pulling that together. Just need some kind of a date, and if we want to have it in person or remote, or how to make it all work.
Well, I certainly know that trying to pull together the Helene Hall is not straightforward.
It's not a problem.
Okay.
It's not a problem, Heidi.
Okay.
So we can pull together Helene Hall. It's not a problem.
All right. Well, I think that would be great if we could try to do that. I think if there's a window of a few days and some ideas that work for the county council, maybe we could start with that and then check in with DeCoit and Poi Poi's office, and then we could have it be optional, both in person or Zoom.
So when you say the county council, are you talking about with Councilmember Sinensi, or are you talking about with all of the council
with
members?
county council Sinensi?
Okay.
I mean, and certainly, we could always open the invite for other projects that are affecting East Maui that people want to share with us.
But it focused. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll talk to Shane and go over his schedule with him and see what dates can work.
Okay.
And are we talking about trying to do it in December?
Man, it's coming fast.
Friday. It starts on Friday.
Yep. What do you think?
I think that'll be a little hard. I mean, everybody's trying to get things done before the year end, and I've been watching and listening to the council meetings and trying to keep a sharp ear on East Maui issues, but you know what I mean? They're trying to close out its budgets. They're doing amendments and revisions. So, I mean, that's
I know all of those mostly have to do with, the fire and those kinds of situation. That's not
more
really,
so. Yeah.
So that,
you know what I mean?
That's
we
them
kind of on a back burner right now.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's the truth.
Well, as far as Shane goes, I can talk to him, but I'm just talking about our membership to see if everybody's comfortable with trying to do something in December. I mean, a lot of us have families and things going on, but what is your preference?
Well,
I'm just gonna speak on myself that I'm looking at December is like really a crunch month and putting holidays into the mix.
Right.
And that's just my personal speaking for myself that December is pretty crunched.
It is between personal and business and closing of the year. So realistically, I think Claire's actually very, very right about that.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it'll be
maybe
difficult.
I know as far as the legislature goes, the beginning of January, they're scrambling to start the year. So hopefully we could do something in the first or second week before the opening and see if we could pull something together with them.
Okay.
Because
Let's
they're
try
really
that.
the key here. I think we have access to Councilmember Sinensi and we can meet. That's a little more flexible, but I think your legislators are the ones that need to be focused on here.
Yeah, well, for the community kitchen thing, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to set up a Zoom, like just with them about the grants and aid process then, and just get some feedback, because it was a directive given to East Maui to look at putting a grants and aid package together for this project, under Donovan and Stacy from the Ways and Means, like back in 2021 and 2022.
Heidi,
Yes.
can I just put in something sideways here? I just heard that Stacy Ferrara is with OHA now.
Yeah, she's the
CFO
director.
or something.
Yeah. Yeah. She's the executive
yeah,
director.
Scott told me that. That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
So go for OHA too, man. Get money from them.
Well, and I think that might be more as we talk about strategies and maybe not do the GIA process, because I think we might need more clarity on it, but at least we need to move the project forward and make sure we have a plan, and other people that are our representatives helping us to make sure we have traction for it. Okay, so
and
Don,
real quick, can I just say, I think it's a good idea to have a meeting with the legislatures and kind of get their feedback on this. And I think that the biggest hurdle right now is that we still don't have a location. So we're kind of, the point of going back to grants and aids was for like the actual, like, project development. And if we don't even know what location we're asking for, it's kind of hard to make a request. So that, that's just another piece in the mix. We really have to think about the steps we need to find to really identify the location before we can move forward with the next step. So
yeah. Okay, so there we go. That was the agenda item, state legislature. Don, if you could look at dates in the first couple of weeks of January, for more of a community like update.
Yep.
I would love it if we could support that from the HBC.
Okay.
Also want to just advocate again for the wastewater issue, and
so
HBC
that's down it's
push.
on the agenda here, Scott.
Oh, okay. I'm driving.
Okay. All right. So we don't have anything on broadband at this point.
Well, we actually do. I hope you guys have all seen that draft document, that BEAD draft document, and I think we have till December 10th to respond to that. And I sent it out, and I think the Business Council sent it out. It was Hāna News sent it out, but I will send it out again tomorrow. It's just an opportunity to have some input on some of the programs and what they're trying to put together for broadband and digital equity and all of those kinds of things.
Okay, let me see where I know we have it. I'll put a link to it and I'll put it in our folder.
Yeah.
Okay. Advisory committee here, Hawaiian Electric. Let's see. Yeah, it might have been a bit since we did that one. Where is it?
Well, we'll give you time to look at that, and we
right.
won't hang up the meeting while you do that.
Okay.
If that's all right.
All right. So let me. Oh, sorry. I'm giving you passwords. Okay.
The membership committee.
Yeah, let me get the
bulletin boards. Does everybody know when they are on the bulletin board? December is Gary, so maybe somebody needs to replace Gary for December because he's not
walking
mobile.
I'll
I
step
can
in.
do it again in December.
Who will?
Brian?
Ryan, Max is
Okay.
raising his hand.
Okay.
Well,
Thanks, Max.
I'll take care of December.
okay.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you, Max.
And does that include the Hasagawa or just the one at
Yeah.
the post office?
I mean, and Hasagawa's pretty much does theirs, but you can go just check it out.
Okay.
See if there's anything that's lingering that's done.
I think
Okay.
ours is pretty good.
And then, okay. So the other thing is that with the amateur radio, Tom Worthington will probably come out sometime in December, and we'll have a meeting at the radio station to do look at ham radio operation with he and Gail. We're trying to organize that. I'll send out an announcement. And then this was the mayor's budget topics that we presented for the meeting. Just an FYI. So board members, you'll have this link in the minutes, but we focused on the road paving in Makalai, environmental cleanups, looking at the new sidewalks into Hāna in particular. And there were police, public works, updating the facilities, increasing manpower and repairing equipment. The fire department funding a tank driver and MEO youth. No, was this?
Something's.
Hold on, this is not right.
Right, it's not right.
This was last year's, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I have on the notes that I took that Hāna Business Council talked about the Hāna Kitchen and Food Hub program, about EMR needing support.
Yeah.
About the multimodal corridor and MPO, the sidewalks and the bike path, sustainable economy and business support, and yeah, I have MEMA needed community communication, which we're gonna need a little time to get that together. But that's what I have under what was presented by the Business Council.
I know. I linked the wrong thing. I know the letters here though. So I'm gonna have to fix that on our agenda in the minutes for today too.
Okay. And then the mayor did announce in the meeting that there is a 5% budget cut for all departments next year. So it's something we need to be mindful of. There's going to be a lot of budget issues. So just wanted to share that from the mayor's meeting. And there was a lot of good testimony by community members from Kaupo to KNI, and they were very vocal in those communities. So it was a good meeting, I thought.
So here it is. Number one, as part of county parks, we need the old school buildings returned. As we have suggested in years past, a maintenance schedule needs to be developed.
Well, that was me.
What? You? East Maui Council has a top priority list of highway repairs we want to see finalized. We're working on the community kitchen plan, the multimodal corridor, and just the support of the HānaMaui.com and communication for transformation of the economic drivers, focusing more on the INA. Okay. So I will add that correct link here. So then just I have a little update. I added that already into your minutes that you have, Grace, but oh, this was the last one. For MPO, I got an update this afternoon from Gina Young with Shane's office. And she met with, let's see if I have, here it is. So she met with Kelly Dolan and the Maui Metropolitan Planning Organization lead, Pam Eaton. They are nearly complete with a grant application through the Transportation Alternatives Program Project Fund with the Hawaii or with the Department of Transportation. They're requesting letters of support from our community for this. And I'm going to send out a request to these various entities. If anyone has other suggestions, I'm going to draft something and then mail it. But right now we're listing the Hāna Business Council, Hāna Youth Center, Chris with the school, Brendan. I can actually check with the hotel.
All of our members,
Yeah.
of our members could certainly write a letter of support.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could put out that too. So, but we need a quick turnaround, you know, as soon as possible. I think they want to submit it by even like next week. They're ready. So I'll get on that. And it's pretty exciting. I'm going to meet with Kelly and just finalize a map that they want to submit with it for the area. And we'll see what happens. And I'll get more information on what they're actually asking for this too, to share with everybody. And then the wastewater inquiry that Scott was referencing, he had emailed us that the Nature Conservancy, I think he is probably on the road now. I don't see him anymore here, but there's a $2 billion of funding that's being put into communities. He's suggesting that this grant, the Nature Conservancy could be interested in a partnership to look at the wastewater issues here in Hāna, and it requires a partnership. So they are wondering if the Business Council might possibly be interested in joining in that with TNC, with the Nature Conservancy support.
What's that for? Septics?
Looking at our septic system, our wastewater, the current wastewater systems as they're set, and what the needs are for our rural community.
They need to allow cesspools.
Dawn, did you get a chance to look at this?
Yes, I did.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know, the Nature Conservancy, I didn't connect with that part of it, but I definitely think that it's something that we need to address. And I actually have someone who contacted me this week, and they would like to come to Hāna and present, and they have some funding specific to Hāna. Hāna, Anahola, and Keaukaha are the three areas that they have grants for, and they want to come to Hāna. And they're local experts developing sustainable solutions to the widespread problem of wastewater pollution in Hawaii. Cesspool conversions and upgrades are mandatory, as we know, by 2050. So they wanna come to Hāna, and they're looking at December 11th. So I'm targeting December 11th right now, and wanted to let the Hāna Business Council know. And I have a couple of other people that have been interested in this, and of course Scott and whoever else you guys can think of to gather with these guys. It says they will assist with the planning and implementation of community meetings to identify which wastewater treatment solutions best fit the desires and needs of the community members. And then site visits and scientific analysis, and the development of an engineering plan for an upgraded wastewater treatment system at the community scale. So, Kamalo, you have your hand up?
Yeah.
I was going to wait till you finish. I was just having my hand up. Are you done?
Oh, I am. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So if they're coming to Hāna, they should go straight to the subdivision and figure it out.
No, they need to meet with the community.
That
They're
is
not gonna,
community.
no, but they're not gonna go
Oh, I had
straight
my
to
hand up.
people's homes
Okay.
and to the subdivision and all of that stuff. They need to kind of meet with a core group first and then kind of divide into going into them. But that could happen that day. But I think they need some local contacts first before they just go knocking on doors in the subdivision.
Are there, I mean, this is an issue that's been looked at for a while.
Anyway, they are coming and interested in assisting our community. So I'm looking at their availability is December 11th and 12th. And I personally said, let's look at the 11th. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm putting out there, and I'll send out the information, and whoever wants to join, talk, have input, write down your thoughts, send them in, whatever. Yeah, we'd like to hear them. And Kamalo, I just don't feel comfortable bringing strangers, into like going right to the subdivision. We can take them through the subdivision and look at the situation and explain it and all of that. But that might be the first step, is to do that and then take steps from there. So that's just what I was thinking.
Yeah, actually, we need to do this in an organized fashion, because we're just going to be wasting their time if we just walk into the neighborhood and have individuals talk to them. I imagine that these people are experienced enough to just drive through the subdivision and immediately already know what the challenges are going to be. So we almost need to create a subcommittee of some sort made up of different components of this community, because we have the business side, we have rural side, we have the condensed neighborhoods and subdivision, which is a
Got
major
the ag
portion.
side.
So yeah, so we need to form some kind of a subcommittee to pull in all this information in a consolidated, organized fashion.
I think that's a great idea. Kamalo, you had your hand up?
Yes, I did. So December 11th is a fantastic date. We have great community members that we can already reach out. The reason I suggested subdivision is the most condensed, challenged area.
Yep, I understand.
And we say community, they are part of our community, and we have people that can attend that lives in that area, and I'll be happy to do a tax key within the subdivision, but that is the biggest challenge in Hāna because it's the most condensed neighborhood that we have in East Maui.
Yeah, and I totally understand that, and I did not imply
That's all I wanted to say.
I did not imply in any way that the people in the subdivision were not part of the community. So let's not go there. No, I'm just saying that
I'm not going there anymore, Dawn. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to finish what I have to say. I would like very much to have some community leadership. I think Gary's suggestion of having a subcommittee is really great. So if anybody would like to volunteer to be on the subcommittee and work with me for looking toward hosting a December 11th meeting, that would be great.
Okay. Yeah.
This is Mark. I can help.
Awesome. Kamalu, I think basically what I was also trying to say is that it's obvious to all of us that the subdivision would be the primary of concern, but the development of a septic system is in need of the proper space and place for the facility to be at. So the problem with the way that the subdivision is presently set up, there's no immediate area near it. So that is going to be one of the major challenges for the subdivision.
Well, and I think what this group is about is there are alternatives and innovative ways to deal with this.
Yeah.
So if we would like to, Gary, if you if you are up for it or you want to be involved, or Kamalu, if you want to be involved or you have some recommendations, let's work on this and pull it together for January 11th.
December.
Yeah.
I'm
coming up.
sorry, December. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We're almost there, guys. So, Kamalu, did you attend the Maui Business Brainstormer
I did.
function this week?
Yep,
You want to give us a little recap?
of course. So we held, it was hosted here at the Maui County Business Resource Center. We have a conference room. So we had businesses within Lahaina that their businesses got destroyed, and the challenges that they were facing. We had 32 attendees, and it seems like it's just going to be the beginning. It turned out quite well. There are areas that the business owners touched on, and what we tried to get out of it, and where the future was holding, whether it be short term or long term. So we kind of broke it down on what they see happening, like within 6 months. Our biggest challenge was that chips were still kind of coming in. They had no storage. Most of their supplies are being in their backyards or renting storage units. So in the collaboration of Maui Business Brainstormers, someone noted a shipping company that was only charging at cost. So no retail rates, but very emotional meeting. We covered from 6 months to a year to long-term needs. A big one was business space. And, with the proclamation, it covered residents with rent hikes. It didn't cover businesses. So the problem that's being faced out here is some of the businesses that were already in operation, Kihei, Kahului area, their rent were being increased.
Everywhere.
Well, right now it was unlawful for you to raise your residential rate, and they're working on that right now, but it didn't cover the business aspect. As we all know that we faced a struggle here in East Maui. Business is down after talking to numerous business owners in the struggles that they were receiving. Somebody said it earlier, down 70%. He stands not alone.
Yeah.
There's people being on call, sharing shifts, and that affects insurance. So I run the Maui County Business Resource Center over here. And when it comes to East Maui, we've reached out already to Fawn Helikahi, who's spearheading. I think she does like counseling or advisor to the seniors. So we have internship programs here, whether it would be with workforce development or our Goodwill. I reached out to Neil Hasegawa also, where we pay competitive wages of what they would pay through our work programs here. So I am currently working on Maui High School job fair. And when we say Maui High School, don't get confused with the Maui High School. It's Maui High Schools throughout Maui County. So that's the latest project, and I'm trying to bring that into Hāna.
Right.
Forms have been sent out for them to fill in, get that all filled in, and hopefully get a workforce going here in East Maui, and not only East Maui, the rest of Maui County. So it's been pretty, we have to start now with everything. Like everything was due yesterday with legislative. It was due yesterday, but that's the things that we're working on out here, and possibly putting together a small Hāna business job fair So it's still in the planning process. I work with great people. I get Chantel Rowland, who came from Goodwill Program and is now the director of the board with WIOA. So
Great. Well, let
thanks,
us know what we can put, on there, and also to link the specifically the Maui American Job Center on. We can put it on the directory listing. I don't think that it is right now, so we should add that as a directory listing. Also, I pulled the email up. This is a request from Grace Fung, who's with the coordinator for the Maui Business Brainstormers. And she is asking if we would accept the invitation to be an official supporter of next year's 2024 National Entrepreneurship Week that runs February 10th to the 17th. So I wanted to put that to the board members.
Gary's participated in the past, Heidi, and it's really good to highlight our community with our business owners. So I hope some people take some interest in
Yes, we should
participation.
join and support for sure because they support us.
Most certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I told her after our
Farmers
meeting today.
market should be part of that.
Yeah. Well, I told her after this meeting today I would confirm, but that I was preliminary conversations are very positive about this. So. Do we need to make a motion for this, Don?
Well, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
If we want to have HBC, be a formal official partner, and that we have these kuleana, we have these responsibilities that are listed here to make sure that that's agreement with everyone. That I guess would be important. So can you guys see? I mean, it's really tiny on my screen.
Okay,
It's hard
I'll
to
read
read,
it. The role of HBC as the official supporter would be to promote the 2024 National Entrepreneurship Week, which is new, NEW, on social media for our business council, which we have both our website and Facebook and Instagrams. We have promote 2024 mass emails. So we do have our mailing list for this and our website. So, and then via news releases. And we can follow up with that once we have this confirmed. And also it says help to select a couple of businesses with brick and mortar in Hāna location to participate in events. And I am just making an assumption that Kamalu might be able to help us figure that one out too.
I think last year we did a video with Johnny
That's
on
right.
Kawakea Legacy.
Okay, so is there a motion from the board that we would like to accept this partnership?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Kamalu.
And I'll second.
And Gary seconds. Is there anyone opposed? Anyone have questions? Okay, cool. That is official.
Great. Then I will just bring everyone's attention. We had delayed this meeting because there was the Festivals of Aloha meeting 2 weeks ago. And so our next meeting is coming up in just 2.5 weeks, or I guess 3 weeks, exactly, on December 12th via Zoom. I have spoken with both, with Jerry Gregory, who wasn't able to make it today, but about being our featured business discussion, talking about fine arts and Jerry Gregory photography, but he also would like to do that with a partnership between he and Alicia, as the Hāna Coast Gallery is closing at the end of the year, to just talk about that history and have it as a way to mahalo her for all that she's done with the art community and invite artists to join that meeting. So I wanted to ask you guys about that idea. And
so that's a membership meeting, not a board only meeting.
Yeah, it's a membership meeting.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think so too.
Second it.
Great. Well, I will send out the email for that very soon.
Awesome.
I have a question about, because I'm writing the minutes. So this motion to accept the HBC being a partner in this National Entrepreneurship Week was the motion was by Kamalu, second by who?
Gary.
Gary. Okay.
And I will add that now into our community events folder.
Okay, so other community news. Does anybody else have anything?
Christmas program coming up. Oh, yeah. I was on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, and the Diego sleigh through Hāna town on Friday, and the lighting of the Hāna store Christmas tree
Yes.
is on Friday afternoon. I think is it 5 o'clock, Kamalu? I can't remember. I gotta look back at I saw it on the Facebook page, but that'll be going on. And then after that, there's something.
What's that date?
Friday, the December 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Friday. Yeah. So that's coming up. The Christmas program, do you know what the date is for that yet? That's the school Christmas program you're talking about, correct?
Yeah, and I'm having a brain blank, and I'm looking in my texts and messages because I just can't. I think it's the 20-something. Sorry. I'm
Do you
searching.
guys have any, like, was it a flyer or a message sent out about these things?
Well, it's kind of like
there's something on the bulletin board.
Okay.
By the post office. I didn't see anything for the school one.
Yeah, that didn't come out yet, but I'm just kind of like shooting it out there.
Yeah. But it's later in December. I think you're right. It's the week of the 20th something. And then I just wanted to put out an acknowledgement. They were brought up today briefly in the meeting, but of Carl and Ray Lindquist, who we lost 14 years ago on Thanksgiving night. And they were part of the creators of the Hāna Business Council. And I just would like to, acknowledge their spirit and the continuation of the work that they put forward in making this happen and creating the Hāna Business Council. So just wanted to acknowledge them briefly. Is there anything else?
Thanks for that, Dawn. It's pretty neat that Rebecca joined and mentioned that. I didn't realize it was on Thanksgiving, and it's nice to hold that energy.
Yeah. Is there anything else anybody would like to share, bring up, say? Yes, Randy.
All this conversation of we wanting them to release and give us back these structures and these facilities for the community of the school and the cafeteria. When they come back up, I hope that the Hanalani Club is reconsidered to take over that cafeteria, because we're still in need of a permanent location, and it's kind of a bag when you have to go to Parks and Recs and put a $50 deposit so you can have electricity to plug in your hot water for the kupuna to have a nice little lunch together, potluck. And, Heidi was trying to link us together with the Halihulu Mamu as under one foundation. And I think we need to do a little bit more for our kupuna, the Hanalani Club, to find a more of a permanent location for us to meet once a month.
Well, Helene Hall is available now. Would that work for you guys for temporarily till the community center comes back up?
Of course, anything at this point, but it's so frustrating, and I gotta give my, we have to recognize the Jolie. She would go down early at 6 in the morning and reserve that spot so we can go and set up just to have our group. And now that she's not here, and I gotta get out a little earlier to try to reserve, and you get there and somebody has their beach wear and their cooler on the benches, and it's kind of a drag when we got to tell people we got to sit out in the rain.
So you don't officially, yeah, would it be possible to officially do it through the Parks Department and have the space secured so that it is reserved?
If they would automatically reserve it for us every fourth Monday of the month and have the power on, that would be amazing.
There is a fee associated with it, though.
No, but there's always been. But who put that fee and then require you to put a deposit? And it's just anyway. If we have to do that, I've done it in the past. And then you send your check, and then 2 months later they didn't send you your deposit back because you turned it in the correct order, and you took your trash and cleaned up and you did what you're supposed to. It just gets complicated and confusing. And if there was an easier way to do it, I'm happy to give them a check every month or go down and pay it, but it's just to have it and secure it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that maybe a one-time security deposit that is ongoing. If you have it weekly, you just do it one time. But I'll see what and Kamalu may have a connection there too. But I can talk to somebody about that.
Please, that would be great. Let us know. We'd be happy with anything.
Okay. And then I have been following up on the Hāna Community Center renovation. In fact, I had a discussion with Parks
Randy,
this morning.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Randy, with the amount of people that you have now, because that you have a much smaller group, would Mother Alice Hall work at all? At one
That could be. Yeah, that could be definitely. I think at one point somebody looked into it and they said it was liability, as they did at the Catholic St. Mary's. I checked with Vicky, and she said she checked with them in a while and it was a liability.
I can deal with Mother Alice. I'm the president of the board of trustees at Honolulu Church.
There you go. You got connections, Randy.
All right. This conversation. We meet every fourth Monday of the month at 9 o'clock. Usually goes till about 1, and we just need electricity and internet.
And the bathrooms.
And of course the bathrooms.
I will send you there's a form that you need to fill out for Mother Alice Hall, for use of Mother Alice Hall, and Max is on the board too. So we could request the waiver. There usually is a fee. We could request a waiver of the fee if it's going to be every week. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But I'll get you the form, and then we can take it under consideration. So I'll try to help you out with that.
Yeah. Mahalo. Thank you. I'll get back with you.
It's once a month, every fourth Monday.
Correct.
Of the month. Yeah.
I think Randy got to check with his seniors too.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What is that?
I said, I think you better check with your seniors. A, I know your seniors, Randy. B, they're going to complain it's too damn hot. I'm just saying, I pay my dues.
All right. Well,
but I'm just suggesting, like, you have that conversation now. I'm not going.
So can we have a motion to adjourn?
I will motion.
Thanks for hanging in there.
And we all are seconding. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. And we will look forward to our next meeting.
Our December meeting.
Tuesday, December 12th.
Awesome.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Okay.
Aloha.
Ahui.
Feeling better soon, Gary. Aloha.
Hey, thank you, Randy. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Yeah, Randy, I'll talk to Alicia.
All right. Let me know, please, Gary.
I will. I will.
Troy, Heidi,
Heidi?
just a call away. He'll be happy to help.
Awesome. Right on.
Heidi?
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you put my name here instead of Sean?
Well, you must be logged in. I can change it. Yeah, just right now just for your sense of identity as we close the meeting. How's that? There you go.
That's great. How about next time?
You can do it from your side too.
Yeah, if you tell me how.
I will. Okay, you ready? Here we go.
Okay.
Tutorial.
No, next
so you
time.
see your picture?
Yeah.
And where it says mute and there's like 3 dots at the upper right-hand corner.
Of mute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of your picture. If you click on the 3 dots of the little image that's there, do you see the 3 dots?
Yeah.
Click on it and you should see a drop-down menu, and like about halfway down it says rename. It says there's one that says make host, and then it says rename.
Yeah, rename. That's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, you can click that and name yourself whatever you would like.
Great.
King Froyam. Husband of
I
Sean.
don't want to change your name in your Zoom account, just my name for this.
Well, so then when I'm on a Zoom, it's going to say Froya Nadel, and that's not my name on the top.
I'll show you how to change it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Heidi.
You bet.
Good night.
Good night.